everybody. Welcome back. Sorry I've been gone for a couple weeks. It's been a dark couple weeks, meaning I didn't do a show. Been dealing with, everybody knows that it's getting real close to harvest season. I'm a farmer, so I've been dealing with that stuff lately. Um, Dealing with stuff at work, at home, just been too busy, but I apologize that I haven't been posting. I know I've been saying I'm going live and then I don't go live. I apologize that. So what we're talking about today, I'm pretty excited about it. I hope you are. If uh, if you're on right now, go ahead and leave a comment. I'm trying out this new service, so I'm hoping it'll show me the live comments. So let me know where you're from. Let me know if my mic's okay, my video. This is all new to me, so bear with me a little bit. It's going to be a little bit different today. We're talking about skinwalkers, and eventually we'll be. Let me see if I can turn up my mic or get it closer. I got somebody saying that my mic's too low. How's that? It's a new mic. My other one wouldn't hook up to my new program, so let's see how this sounds. Um, so you know the big thing on the media right now, everybody's watching it. I know I've been lacking on it a little bit. The Skinwalker Ranch. Um, so we're gonna talk a little bit about skinwalkers. Skinwalker Ranch is going to come later because that's a whole nother thing. So I don't know if everybody knows what a skinwalker is or what. I know what you know about what's on TV and everything, but do you know really what Skinwalker is all about? So I got some notes here because I kind of go off track. So the word skinwalker originally comes from the Native American legend, particularly the Navajos, but there's a handful of people from the four corners of the United States. You got the Pueblo people, the Apaches, the Hopis, the Utes, and the Navajos. They all believe in a form of the skinwalker, but the skinwalker in the Navajo language, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to disrespect the Navajo Nation because I really can't pronounce it, but it's right there on the screen. I know a lot of you will probably be able to announce it, but me being the little okie that I am, sometimes my tongue doesn't roll the way it's supposed to. But that right there is the Navajo word for skinwalker. So skinwalkers are, some people call them witches, some people call them medicine men that turn bad. So usually a skinwalker has a dark supernatural power that they've got it in a certain way that, how can I put it, they've had to kill somebody or harm somebody that they deeply love. Say a brother, a sister, a girlfriend, a wife, a family member, that just one of those gruesome ways. So what happens is they start dabbling in the dark magic. They, to me, it kind of sounds like they sell their soul, but it's a whole different process. Let me see. So a skinwalker not only can shapeshift, most of the time they shapeshift. The other times they can actually control the person they want to. They say in the Navajo legend is if you look into the eyes of a shapeshifter, they can control your mind and your thoughts. They can make you do their evil bidding. They can make you harm people, whatever they want you to do. So we know Skinwalkers because of Skinwalker Ranch. It's become popular the past few years with that show. But Skinwalkers started a long, long time ago. It's been around before written history. So the way the Native Americans do it, they pass it down from generation to generation. So it all started closer to the 1800s. There was so when the white man came, they basically forced the Native Americans into reservations, which is not cool because we should all be able to share the land. But in 1864, how can I put this? Before 1864, the Pueblo people, the Apaches, the Hopis, the Utes, and the Navajos were all working with the U.S. Army. Well, something happened, and I've seen a few different things that the Utes turned on the Navajos to help the U.S. Army. I heard the Army has just took over, but in most of them is what I've read is in 1864, the Navajos were pushed out of their land. They were made to go to New Mexico, which the Navajos call it the Long Walk of the Navajos. So they blame Skinwalkers on what happened there, because Skinwalkers are blamed for every little incidents in the Native America culture. It can be sandstorms. It can be the wind coming up when they're having their dances. It could be droughts, bad crops, just about everything, death, divorce, everything. So when they took the long walk to New Mexico, they still blamed it on it because they came across bad food, bad water, poor crops when they got to New Mexico. So more and more of the Navajos became Skinwalkers because they wanted to basically go back. So in those 4 years of them being in New Mexico, in New Mexico they had to walk all the way to Fort Sumner. So if you're ever in New Mexico, check out all that stuff at Fort Sumner. So within those 4 years, after those 4 years were up, the U.S. Army decided they made a mistake. I don't know. I haven't found anything on my research saying why they made a decision. They just made a treaty for them that they can come back to their land in the four corners, but they had to stay in one spot. So when they came back, and it got better. So they were getting more crops because they got back to their land. They knew, basically it's like farmers nowadays. If you know the land, you have good crops. If you know the crops, you have good outcome. The Navajos got back to their land and their crops started getting better. Well, there were still certain Navajos that were still dabbling in the dark arts. So in 1868, one of the chiefs found witch artifacts wrapped up in the Treaty of 1868. which started the the purge. They call it the Navajo Purge. Excuse me. So by eight yeah by what year was that? I think it was 1872, somewhere's around there. They started the actual Navajo Purge. They started hunting and killing all the witchy people. They call it the so history books show them looking like this. Navajos say that the skinwalkers would take on the forms of coyotes, bears, stuff like that, and they would wear the skins, which would give them more power. But they can also um, take over the minds of the owls and the wolves at night so they can do their bidding. Nowadays, we think of skinwalkers like this. So basically, let's go back to that photo. Navajo, mainstream media. You see the difference? It's like the telephone game. It's like when you were a kid, you would tell your friend, whisper in your friend's ear, and he would go down the line trying to tell the same thing, and so on and so on. By the time it got back to you, it was something totally different. So the mainstream media likes to portray legends and everything as monsters. Yeah, the Navajos consider them witches, bad witches, but they never mention monsters. But so everything's Hollywood nowadays. So there's a few stories. In 1990, the Skinwalkers became pretty popular with the mainstream media when there was a couple that driving through the reservations, they said they seen a wolf running with the same speed as the car. And when one moment it was a wolf, the next minute they said they saw a man walking away from where they just saw the wolf. A couple other ones is basically it's back to like the Navajos. People are blaming everything on skinwalkers nowadays. You got a cow mutilation in Utah. It's skinwalkers. You have somebody disappear. Skinwalkers. This ain't a TV show Supernatural. They're not going to. If they are real, more than likely they're not going to bring attention to themselves. So Hollywood has come up with the good idea of making them popular. There's movies out there, The Hunt for Skinwalkers, Skinwalkers of Navajo Ranch, just all kinds of them. And that brings me to the Skinwalker Ranch. Oh, wait. Before we go to Skinwalker Ranch, another lore or legend in the Native America Navajos is that there's places in this world that have superpowers. That if they go there, they can get powers. To me, it sounds like a portal. I know some people are like, come on, Billy, portals aren't real. Well, a lot of different cultures believe in magical portals. Um, Now, a lot. How can I put this? A lot of things that were passed down from generation to generation in different cultures before there was written history. We think it's fake. We think it's like a book. But these cultures that you see nowadays take in consideration of what their ancestors believed, and don't make fun of them. Don't say, "Oh, damn, you're crazy, dude. That can't be real." There's a lot of stuff out there that was real that we've closed our eyes to. So let's talk a little bit about this famous show that's on. Is it on History or is it on Travel Channel? One of those two. It's Skinwalker Ranch. Well, this is in the Yucatan Basin in Utah, and the curse that the Navajos put on. Okay, let's back up a little bit. So there's written history of the Navajos putting a curse on the Yucatan Basin because that was their land that was taken from them. And remember when I said that the Utes helped the U.S. Army to get rid of the Navajos? See, the Navajos, the Utes, the Hopis, at one point, they were all civilized and friends. They traded with each other until the Utes basically stabbed everybody in the back. That's what it said all over the internet, in history books and other books. Um, so the Navajos put a curse on the Yucatan Basin that the Skinwalkers would walk the land forever until the Navajos got their land back. Well, the Navajos got their land back, but the Skinwalkers never went away. So that's where, when you watch the Skinwalker Ranch, they talk about portals and stuff under the ground and this and that. I believe on Skinwalker Ranch, which is also known as Sherman Ranch. If you know a little bit of the history, it wasn't always Skinwalker Ranch. There's been a few people own it. The first people that owned it was the Shermans, which are they're the first ones that said that they saw what they believed was a skinwalker on their ranch. So one night they came home. They were farmers, and they came home. Their cattle was making a ruckus. So the father went out to see what was going on, and he saw something eating one of his cattle. So he ran back, got his gun, shot at the thing, says he hit it, but it never phased it. So it ran into the woods, or not the woods. It ran up to the basin, over it, and once they chased it, they followed the footsteps. They started out as wolf. They say wolves are canine footprints. By the time they got up to the top of the basin, the footprints turned into human footprints. So the first instinct they got was it was a skinwalker. So they were there for a while. Then I forget the other guy's name that came in and bought it, but he ran a bunch of experiments and this and that because there was phenomenon on the ranch. Then after after he got done with it, this guy bought it. This guy is what's made it popular on TV. Brandon, I forget his last name, but he's got just about everything going on now. So supposedly they have UFOs, they have UAPs, they have skinwalkers, they have portals, they have ghost. Basically, it's a hodgepodge of the paranormal and supernatural at this place. But what most people don't know, it's not just happening on Skinwalker Ranch. It's happening all over the Yucatan Basin. So there's another show out called I want to say it's called the Blind Frog Ranch. Basically, that one is dealing. It's in the same general area. What I've understood. It's still in Utah. It's still in that whole Yucatan Basin. It deals with more of the Aztec golds, so that's a whole nother story. But there's been so many different incidents in that whole basin from different local people, not just Skinwalker Ranch, but Skinwalker Ranch is getting the publicity because of the previous owners. Now they're saying there's something buried in the ground. I've only watched up to, I think it's season 3. I haven't got the new season because I stopped with the whole cable stuff. It just got too expensive, and I'm never home really to watch it. So I was paying for nothing. But if Skinwalker Ranch is, I want to say it's more hyped up by Hollywood or TV than anything. Yeah, they're getting some cool shit. I've seen some of the episodes where they shoot rockets in the air, they get UAPs. I've seen them drill into the basin, and the drill bit curves down around something, and when they go higher, it curves up around something. So there's a lot of, well, there's not a lot, but there's a couple stuff on the internet saying that whole basin could have been a impact site at one point. If that's the case, then yeah, they can get different readings, this and that. But the whole people seeing entities, seeing orbs. I don't believe in orbs because dust. It just looks like orbs on cameras. They basically, now, the last episode I saw, they had helicopters, military helicopters, flying around. Those helicopters are only used for special occasions. They're special operation Chinooks. The double blades, the back door open, ass end lowered. Usually what I've seen is if the ass end's lowered on the helicopter, they're taking readings, they're getting ready to jump, that kind of stuff. And they showed videos on the show with the bay door opens in the ass, people sitting on the end of the cargo doors. What's going on? Is it for show? Is it really military? The problem is there's so much money flying around this Skinwalker Ranch. What's true, what's not? Just like this whole UFO shit that's all over TV right now. How much of this is true? Are we ever going to know? Government hides shit from us all the time. They don't want us to panic, they say. They don't want us to have mass panic, mass hysteria. Let us be the judge of it. Yeah, you may have those people holding the signs up, take me with you. Who cares? You may have people, your doomsday people. Let them prep. Don't hide stuff from us. And that's what I want to do here is inform everybody of the real stuff. I'm slowly getting into more and more of, I can say conspiracy. There's a lot of stuff coming out on TV. Anyways, back to the show. Sorry. So Skinwalker Ranch. Someday I'll go check it out. I know I have one of my cousins said he's been to Skinwalker Ranch, but after this harvest, I gotta get away. I'm seriously planning a trip to Roswell. It's on my bucket list. I'm not getting any younger. But Skinwalker Ranch is on my bucket list too. It's just a little bit further. Skinwalker Ranch, yeah, it's a great television show. Keeps you interested, sorry. Really, how much is going on? Yeah, the guy that's on there, I forget his name. He's a NASA scientist. He's done all kinds of stuff with UFOs, UAPs, and this Brandon guy, this guy right here, he's got more money than he knows what to do with. So, what's actually going on that ranch? If it was something real serious, don't you think the government would actually come and, believe it or not, the government can come take your land. And they've done it for years. They've done it to people. They're always going to do it. If there's something serious on that ranch, don't you think the government would come shut everything down? It wouldn't be on TV. Hell, they're just now telling us about UFOs in real life. You really think all this would be on TV? I just saw this. Tell Frankie I said hi too. It's probably past her bedtime now, but thanks for joining us, Bird. I don't know exactly how everything's going to work out. The show's going to slowly get better. I know I'm probably kind of boring right now. I'm getting everything adjusted. Like I said before, what helps us a lot is go subscribe. Like the videos, YouTube, and Facebook. The more you guys participate in liking and sharing on YouTube, it gets more and more up in the search. And eventually I want to be close to the top. I'm no Rush Limbaugh or anybody like that. I just want to have fun. And so we're going on 30 minutes right now, so I'm probably going to shut the show down for tonight. That 30 minutes is pretty good. I'll go longer next time when I got more information on the stuff, but I'm going to sign out now. Thank you everybody for coming. Remember, keep driving those back roads and keep your eyes open and believe. Thank you.